Hi, I'm Jacob Castro, and here's my hazard and disaster log, specifically aimed at a general audience. Our first disaster is the Beirut explosion that occurred on August 4th of 2020 in the city of Beirut of the country Lebanon. Here, 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrate were ignited and exploded by a fire caused by welding working in a harbor where the ammonium nitrate was being stored. This explosion was the equivalent of 1,100 tons of TNT going off. And as you can tell in this image, it was quite massive as it reached around 6 kilometers in its blast radius. And anything within this vicinity was pretty much destroyed in some way. Of course, the closer you were, the more damage that there was. And the loss of life was greater. Approximately 220 people were killed and over 6,000 people were injured, with over 300,000 families losing their homes because of the shaking or the shockwave caused by the explosion. In total, the property damage cost was $15 billion worth for Lebanon, which was a massive hit to their economy. So this was very a disastrous event. And here we have an image of the initial blast zone where the crater happened at the harbor. And here we have some of the damages you can see on buildings a little farther away from the explosion site. And then next we have the El Dorado fire that occurred on September 5th of 2020 in Yucaipa, California. This was actually caused by a gender reveal party using pyrotechnic devices that sparked and ignited shrubbery near the party. This then resulted in a fire that would rage on for 23 days and burn across 22,744 acres in Yucaipa, California. At its peak, it required 1,351 emergency responders. But fortunately, this was right towards the end of California's fire season. So local authorities and emergency responders were already dealing with fires at the time. So they're ready, and they quickly went to this fire to try to put it out. And because of this, property damage was limited to 4 residencies being damaged, with only 5 residencies plus 15 other structures being completely destroyed due to this fire. And only 13 people were injured in this event, with 1 recorded loss of life, which was a firefighter battling this fire. So relatively, these were low numbers, but it was still a very disastrous event that could have been avoided. And here we have an image of the fire, and then we have a structure charred by the fire. Next, we have the AGNC earthquake, specifically the one that occurred on October 30th, 2020, right in the Aegean Sea. As you can tell in the map over here, it shook the coast of Turkey as well as Greece, and it was an earthquake that registered as a 7.0 on the Richter scale. So this was quite massive. And actually, the epicenter right here is a very geologically active zone in our world where 4 tectonic plates meet. And it's because these tectonic plates moving that caused this massive earthquake that resulted in a mini tsunami that flooded the streets of Izmir in Turkey and Samos in Greece. And it also resulted in 110 people dying, and it caused 1,035 injuries and $1 million worth of damages, especially for Turkey. Right here, you can see the destruction in Izmir with a rescue team looking for survivors. And then right here, we can see a structure collapse due to the earthquake. Next, we have Hurricane Harvey that formed as early as August 16th, but I'm specifically focusing when it reached Texas on August 25th, when it became a Category 4 hurricane, and wouldn't dissipate until September 1st. In this 4-day period after landfall, it caused 40 inches of rainfall for the city of Texas that then led to flooding events that caused 30,000 people being displaced due to the flooding events. And it caused 300,000 structures and 500,000 vehicles being damaged in the events, which totaled up to $125 billion worth of property damages. And Hurricane Harvey was actually directly responsible for at least 68 deaths, plus 35 indirect deaths. So it was quite a tragic hit for the state of Texas. And here we have some of the damages, as you can see. Here's more of the damages. Next, we move on to the Los Angeles flood, which started on February 27th, 1983, and continued on for 5 days. This flooding was caused by 2 storms that hit Southern California that caused massive flooding. And within the 24 hours, of the storm first hitting on February 27th, Southern California recorded and exceeded 3.55 inches over the average of its seasonal rainfall, which just kept continuing and resulted in 5,600 homes being obliterated in Los Angeles County, and resulted in a total of $70 million worth of property damage at the time, and was the cause of 140 people's deaths in the Los Angeles area. So this was a very brutal event in 1983. And here we have some of the damages, as you can tell. And that would be the end of my disaster log. Thank you for listening.